Prime Minister faces calls from former Cabinet Minister Sir Simon Clarke, seen as an ally of the Prime Minister's, to resign. This is amid fears that the party faces what he calls an electoral massacre under Sunak's leadership. Well, with me now to discuss this, both of these stories, is TalkTV's chief political commentator, Peter Cardwell. Good afternoon to you.
Hi, Julia.
And, of course, Benedict Spence is with us. Now, you've watched PMQs, so we don't have to. Thanks for all that. I want to get into what happened with Simon Clarke, and, of course, I think it did come up at PMQs.
That's right.
PMQs, I mean, that's the one big set piece of the week at Westminster. How was it today?
It was pretty rowdy. I think it was pretty just horrible, really. It was one of the most kind of pointless ones that I've seen in a while.
Wow, that's saying something.
Very little, well, indeed, as they're often pointless, but there was quite a lot of just shouting, abuse, throwing insults, that kind of thing.
So like a production meeting for the show, give or take.
Lots of heat, not a lot of light. Okay. But yes, at the very start, of course, Keir Starmer got stuck in talking about how trading insults, basically saying how, you know, the louder the cheers that come from the benches, the more they slag him off behind his back and so on.
I mean, he's got a point.
Yes, it's true. And also, of course, he brought up Sir Simon Clarke.
OK, well, let's have a little watch and listen of that clip.
So was he surprised to see one of his own MPs say that he doesn't get what Britain needs and he's not listening to what people want?
He talks about what Britain needs, what Britain wants, what Britain values. This from a man who takes the knee, Mr. Speaker, who wanted to abolish the monarchy, who still doesn't know what a woman is, and who just this week, one of his front benchers said that they back teaching divisive white privilege in our schools, Mr. Speaker. Looking at his record, it's crystal clear which one of us doesn't get Britain's values.
I mean, good, pretty lively stuff, as you say, very rowdy, Peter. But I mean, fair enough to Rishi Sunak. Those are all fair points to make. I have a feeling we're going to get a bit bored with this over the next how many months?
Although there was a new one today, Julia, which was Keir Starmer talking about Rishi Sunak, as he put it, betting against poor people when 2008, during the financial crisis, to make millions, as he put it, because he was saying, you know, I was the chief prosecutor, because Rishi Sunak, of course...
Oh, wait a second, was Rishi Sunak the Director of Public Prosecutions? He mentions that so rarely.
It's funny with Keir Starmer. I mean, there was a new one on me that I'd been Director of Public Prosecutions. Did you know that Rishi Sunak's mother was a pharmacist?
I did not know that.
Yeah.
Why don't they mention these things?
Actually, I've an exclusive for you. Jeremy Hunt was an entrepreneur.
Who knew? Who knew? So, I mean, again, this is just sort of a trading of insults.
Yes.
I mean, again, some of this is valid stuff, but it doesn't really get us anywhere. Did we make any progress?
Well, it was really the third or fourth question before Keir Starmer was talking about anything that actually affects real people, and it was about childcare, the government plans for childcare that are coming online in about 6 to 8 weeks. And really what is happening is there are what Rishi Sunak calls practical problems, but essentially there's just no nursery care for so many people.
There's IT, bureaucracy, and people don't earn enough, and the paperwork is so huge.
Yes.
It's providing enough staff to actually look after the children who they're offering 15 years of free, well, not free, it's not free, it's subsidised by the taxpayer, childcare for 2-year-olds and above.
That's right.
And then the thing is, there was some off, I think it was 3 or 4-year-olds when I had a little one. But again, they paid £2.50 an hour. If you ever tried to get a nursery for your kid for £2.50 an hour...
Heck of a lot more than that.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, it's supposed to be fully funded, but they just say they haven't got enough places.
Yes, it's a sort of manpower issue, but we're just going to look at another clip here of Starmer talking about that, and, of course, it got pretty nasty again. OK,
let's have watch and listen.
Mr. Speaker, making steelworkers redundant and failing to provide childcare is not a plan, Prime Minister. It's a farce. It's a farce. And he may soon discover that with childcare, there's an IT problem. Nurseries haven't got the spaces. They haven't got the staff. There's a black hole in their budget, and it's 8 weeks to go. He calls that a practical issue. But I preferred the honesty of whichever of his colleagues briefed to the Times that it was, and I quote, a complete show. Who was it who briefed that to the Times? Hands up.
Another week with no ideas, absolutely no ideas as country, and absolutely no plan. He talked about the cost of living, Mr. Speaker, he talked about the economy, but he never actually brings it up, and we all know why, Mr. Speaker, because things are improving and we are making progress.
Peter Cardwell, am I right in thinking that Sir Keir Starmer said a naughty word
Yes,
there?
he did.
Rather unparliamentary language that we had to beep out.
Well, he's done it before, but yes, he's done it now, talking about what some Tory MP, we don't know who, briefed the Times on this, calling it a show. Exactly. Well done on clearing your throat there. We'll be very careful.
I don't want complaints. It's such a silly thing to get complaints about.
Yes, exactly. So, no, certainly this is a policy that is racked with problems. But Rishi Sunak saying there, things are improving. I think that phrase is going to come back to haunt him. I would imagine the social media people within Labour are already getting their memes together on that one to pump them out online.
Come on, they were just trying to get out a meme with the naughty word. Ooh,
yes,
he really
he's so
cares
edgy,
about
isn't
this.
he?
He's so edgy. In terms of the general mood, after what happened yesterday with Sir Simon Clarke, I mean, I was thinking, have a nice early night tonight. And then, it looked like there was going to be a big Tory coup. We've seen this happen before. We know Andrea Jenkins, she's one of the Tory MPs who months ago put in her letter to the 1922 committee. We don't know if someone who says they has. We don't know if someone who hasn't has. And there could be, I think it's 50,
withdraw them, put them
53
back in. 53 is the magic
key
number.
numbers. There could be 52 or there could be one. We have or none. We have no idea.
So Graham Brady never tells anybody anything.
Yeah, I mean, he's absolutely on that. And Sir Simon Clarke, who, look, he was Chief Secretary of the Treasury when Sunak was the Chancellor. They were allies. He's been knighted. He's now very much seen as a Trussite, isn't he, with Liz Truss. He comes out of the trap saying, Rishi Sunak needs to go. We're going to face an election massacre. We need to do something, and changing leadership is the key thing. And I was thinking, and a lot of political commentators, I'm sure you were as well, going, right, when's the next one? This is obviously an orchestrated thing. Suddenly, there's tumbleweed going across the parliamentary chamber. I mean, nothing de nada other than what was going on in the MPs' WhatsApp groups.
Well, exactly, which was some fairly fruity language, similar to what Keir Starmer was saying, condemning Simon Clarke for doing this. We're 15 hours into this, and he is standing almost alone. Obviously, Andrea Jenkins is with him, but even Liz Truss has not backed him. And even Suella Braverman, in her excoriating letter to Rishi Sunak a few weeks ago, didn't in any way say that that he should go. And we've had a lot of the grandees, Liam Fox, even Priti Patel, who may well see herself as a former, as a leadership contender after the election, backing Rishi Sunak, saying unity is needed. Surely the Conservatives, they're thinking, wouldn't be mad enough to have another leadership contest.
I'm wondering, you're a Conservative commentator, Benedict Spence, not a sort of die-hard Tory. There are a lot of people to say, look, they're not going to win where they're going right now. But Peter, help me. How many Tory leadership elections have we had in recent years? I genuinely lose track.
Well, I did talk about it in the therapy. So we had the one for Theresa May. Let's see. Yes, the one for Theresa May, then the one for Boris Johnson, then the one for Liz Truss, and sort of the one for...
So we've had four
in
pretty recent years. Is it even tenable to you, Benedict, that there could be another leadership election, even if, as Simon Clarke says, you could do it in a week? Of course, that would mean the party members don't get to have a say. But if it was someone, say, like Kemi Badenoch, they'd probably be very happy.
I mean, all of this is enough to make me want to enlist. It's so exhausting. I think
you may not have the choice.
Yeah. Honestly, I think... It is possible. It is possible. There is enough talent just about in there to put together an alternative. It just doesn't want to. I mean, you highlighted Kemi Badenoch. Kemi Badenoch is intelligent enough to understand that she would be in a very difficult situation. She could certainly improve the standing of the party. Would it be enough to win? Probably not. And then she would fear another leadership challenge when the party because that is the nature of the party.
No one who's serious about being leader of the party, Peter, is actually going to, throw their towel, hat into the ring. That's it. Give me a sporting metaphor.
Throw the towel and the hat at the same
time. Exactly. It would be effective, wouldn't they? Because you don't. It is very unlikely, given the polling, and at this time, with only so many months to go before an election, that they could turn things around. Because the key thing for a lot of Tory voters, or would-be Tory voters, is it's not what you say. Someone having the will, and it's what are you actually going to do?
Yes, and what's the plan, essentially? But no, anybody who took over at the moment would be complete poison chalice. So I predict Diane from the Traitors will be the next leader of the Conservative Party. No, I think Rishi Sunak will be the leader until the election. I think the election's going to be in November. I think they're going to lose it, and then they're going to have...
OK, is someone taping this? Is someone taping this? I want to be able to throw this back at him.
when none of it happens. Yes, and then you have, I think, Kemi Badenoch, as Benedict correctly says. I think you've probably got James Cleverly, maybe even Grant Shapps, probably Priti Patel actually as well, maybe Robert Jenrick. You've got, a number of people who would maybe...
Robert Jenrick's been on a weight loss, Rishi. That's always a sign that
I'm very
someone
jealous.
is...
Beware a
a
politician on a diet. No, he's got cheekbones now. Who knew? So you may well have Penny Mordaunt as well, if she gets through, if she remains an MP.
Right, she did hold a sword well.
There are lots of people who are waiting in the wings, but they are waiting, and they know that their time will come at least to put themselves forward to be leader.
But therein, I'm afraid, is the problem. There's lots of people that believe they could be Prime Minister or leader of the Conservative Party. They're not sort of coalescing around one or two people saying, I'm prepared to put my own interests to one side for the benefit of the party.
This is the person with the vision.
There will be a
Here's the thing.
And there'll be a huge...
Here's the thing. Given that none of us think there's going to be a leadership challenge, again, that means there will be one now, before the end of the year. Yeah, exactly. Famous last words. They wouldn't be vying to be Prime Minister. They'd be vying to be leader of the opposition.
Which is a very, very different thing.
It's a very, very, very different job. And again, there is an argument, you can talk a good game in opposition because, that's the thing with Keir Starmer, untried, untested. I think he's going to be an appalling... I think he is going to be the next Prime Minister, but I think he's going to be an appalling Prime Minister. I think you can see from his inability to think on his feet, he has to read everything. He's plodding. He's a perfectly clever guy, but he's not sharp, and it's this plodding thing. And this was the issue we had with Gordon Brown. A former permanent secretary in the civil service said to me, Tony Blair, when he was Prime Minister, he was, for all his faults, he could make decisions. And some of your decisions are going to be wrong. But Gordon Brown, he wanted every last bit of information. He just couldn't cope with the 15 major decisions you have to make every day as Prime Minister. He couldn't accept that you're going to have a percentage of those that aren't the right way, but you're going to have to go through all the information you've got and make a call. I think that's what Keir Starmer's going to be like. I think it's going to be a dead weight on Britain to have him